What's going on, man? It's CGA back in here with the Blue Chip Mindset, man. I hope you've been enjoying the Blue Chip Mindset videos that are over on this channel, the Notorious CGA channel. I've been doing them right here at my countertop and just delivering just straight information, no edits, not much razzle dazzle, if you will. And I've been just delivering the ideas just to hopefully share for the people who are watching the videos, some information or opinions that I have about how to get over or ahead in life. Okay. Now, some of the information and details may be something you disagree with, right? Maybe something you strongly agree with. It might be inspirational. It might be motivational, but I'm only trying to help. See, I think I have a philosophy that can help a lot of young people, men and women, on how to get ahead in life. A lot of people are taking shortcuts. You're wanting to get the rewards earlier in life than you anticipate. Social media kind of led us in the direction of seeing people achieve or the act of achieving, right? But it looks like they're achieving. Maybe they're taking shortcuts. Maybe they did a PPP loan. We don't know how they got the money. Maybe they worked hard for it. Maybe they had a trust fund. But a lot of people are becoming discouraged at the system. And I think there is a culture clash, to be honest with you. There's a culture clash of individuals who kind of want to get their instant gratification. They want to reap their rewards now. They don't want to wait. And you have a people who have worked hard and they are now reaping the benefits of said hard work. Now, when you hear this, the culture clash is there's a side of people saying, well, we don't like hustle culture. We don't want no parts of hustle culture. We don't want to be grinding it out. We don't want to work for 30 years. We don't want to do the same job. We don't want to job hop. We don't want to, update our resume. Okay. They don't want no parts of that, right? Just give me the money. Just give me the money. Just raise my income and I'll be happy. Now, of course, that's very short-sighted and we could talk about that today. I think it's laughable, but of course I'm an older person, right? I'm a person that just started a job. My first job was $5 an hour. All right. Now, I don't even know what it is an hour because I probably work way more hours in a day and I don't even count the hours. All right. I just look at how I earn money as I earn money based on production. Okay. So I get paid to produce and it's not an hour. All right. So people will actually ask me, what do you make an hour? I don't know. All right. But if you probably count the hours that I work, my hourly wage is probably low. It's lower than you think. So it's a dumb mindset to me when they be like, what do you make an hour? All right. It's just like, I have no idea. But that's a mindset, right? That's something that a lot of people don't understand, that you can get paid that way. You don't have to get paid per hour trading time for hours, right? You don't have to do that, or time for money. You don't have to do that. There's a whole bunch of ways you can get paid, right? You can get paid even if you're not working, right? You can get paid while you're sleeping. There's a whole bunch of ways to make money in this world. And of course, when you tell people that, they want to get the answer to how to do it today. I need the answer on how to do that today. Well, here's the reality of it. 90% of people trade time for money. Okay. And I'm just throwing a number out there, but that's what it is. They trade time for money. They go to work and they work these hours. They go home and they chill. Now, when they're at home, they don't want to think about work. They don't want to be asked to do any extra work, or they want to get paid maybe to do things easier while they're at work. And that's their decision. But then they get trapped, right? Because capacity. There's always capacity, right? There's only so many hours in a day. There's only so much energy. There's a cap. So I might say I'm going to work 18 hours today, but the reality is my energy might not be there. Okay. So I have the time, but when I started doing the work, I ran out of gas. So that's the capacity. Thus, you have to think of ways to be able to earn money, even if you don't have enough time and or energy. But a lot of people don't understand that yet. So one of their solutions is, if you can't tell me the secret to earn money now, take the shortcut, get rich quick, then at least you can do is just hire me and give me the money. Okay. If I work for a company, this is the mindset. This is not my mindset, but the mindset is, if I work for the company, what the company should do, if they want their employees to live on a livable wage, They should actually take less money as a company. You greedy companies. You should take less money and give the money to the employees. Again, we live in a culture clash. See, the problem with that mindset, and I'm going to tell you, that is a non-blue chip mindset. The problem with that mindset, and I'm going to be real with you, it's ignorant. Now, the reason why I can say that is because I was a business owner, okay? I actually jumped to the other side so I can see it from both people's side. As an employee, it would make sense. Hey, you guys are making all of this money and doing all of these things. Well, why don't you just pass those earnings over to an employee so the employee can have a livable wage? Makes sense, right? However, from a business perspective or an owner's perspective, it is not what you want to do because, number one, if I'm going to give a lot of my income over to the workers who I've paid to do a certain job, and there's a market rate, right? There's a rate of what these employees are worth. You might say they're worth one thing here in this place, and another place they're worth another dollar amount, but arbitrarily you're just going to say, just hand over the profits. Here's the problem. The employee never assumes any debts related to the company. For instance, we're doing better now as a company and our profits are up. But of course, there's a rainy day. What if our profits are down? Do you share in the loss of profits? No, you don't. See, you're not going to share when we do bad. You're not going to share when there's shipping issues. You're not going to share when, we have an issue and we're not producing as much profit. You're not going to share when our stock is down. You're not going to share when we're just not, doing a good job, or you're not doing a good job. The people I'm passing on the profit to. What if you stop working and you're like, I don't care about this business. It could go under for all I care. Well, there's certain things that's profit sharing, but if I give all of that to the employee despite their productivity, but when the chips are down, the employee doesn't say, well, I'll take a pay cut for the company's benefit so that we can make it to the next year. It doesn't make sense to turn over to the profit to the company. It doesn't make sense. I know in a younger person's mind that makes sense, but it doesn't make sense because you're not assuming any risk. See, here's the thing. Risk is important. The people at the top most likely assume risk so that when things are down, I don't get a bonus. When profits are down, I don't get to be able to maintain my lifestyle, right? I had a bad year. Now I got to sell a house. Potentially my family might fall apart. We might get a divorce. My wife might be like, hey, what is this? I'm not downgrading my lifestyle because your business went under. She's going to divorce me at the top, right? My kids can't do extracurricular activities. Yeah. See, I had the risk. I assumed most of the risk. I assumed most of the debt. I also assumed the risk to create the company. And I also assume the risk that when things go wrong, I take the blame. See, the media is not going to come after the employees for everything not working. But what they will do is they will come after the owner, the top people in the C-suite, the people who put their name, that when you go to the company website, the name of the employees are right there in the C-suite. These are the people who are going to get the blame. Thus, these are the people that probably work way more hours, if you want to include mental work, worrying about their company day in and day out. And yes, there are times where these companies do splurge and they get the benefits of taking said risk and the benefits of having to be accountable where the employee is not going to do it. Okay. The minute we make the employee take the L, they ain't going to do it. So that's where we're at right now. We're at a standstill of two cultures, mostly the boomers and Gen X on one side, the millennials and Gen Z on the other. Now, there are some cross-cultural people here. There are some Gen Z and millennials that have their mind more catered to the Gen X and the boomer mindset of work hard, right? Hustle, grind it out. And there's the Gen Xers and boomers that are like, help me, all right? We can't do as much as we can, so give me some money. Now, they've had 30, 40 years to get their life right, They thought this was going to be the practice life or the life they were going to live later on, but reality hits you square in the nose when you hit 50 and you didn't live the right life. So now all of a sudden we have a lot of people saying, let's just change the system. This system sucks. Going to work, commuting, driving, risking, being accountable, grinding it out, doing 2 jobs. Just give me the profits and everybody can live a standard life, right? So now this to me is quite comical because I know what side I'm on. See, like I said, I'll work as many hours as I need to. However, I will know that I'll work as many hours as I need to, most likely on something that's going to directly benefit me. So I'm going to take the risk to do what? Have my own business, okay? Or have my own ways to earn money. I'll work 18 hours a day doing that, but I have to assume the risk. You see, I have to assume the risk because when it falls apart, everybody's going to laugh at me when I got to move out of my house and I got to sell my cars. See, that's part of the game. See, it's not always great because when you do these risky things, there is a chance that it might not work. And thus, you must find a way to support yourself. You don't have a resume. You can't just go to another job sometimes. And you're going to lose. And when you lose, people are going to laugh. But see, when the employee gets laid off, nobody's going to laugh. They're going to feel bad for you to say, oh, these evil corporate people or these evil business owners, they just laid us off. We lost our job. Now what do we do? But the answer for most people is to tear down the system because it doesn't benefit a lot of people. But I think the mindset is what needs to be deconstructed. All right. The mindset of the people needs to change. See, I think capitalism, rich people, upper middle class, the 10%, the top 1%, these people are not going back. All right. They got a system that works for them. Trust me, they ain't going backwards. They're not just going to hand over everything unless, listen, I won't say that part. They're not just going to hand over everything because you didn't take the steps that you needed to do to get to where you wanted. And save me the story about all the rich people and the privilege and all of that. Yeah, that's part of the game. But it's certainly going to be a part of the game if you depend on a group of people to say, we're just going to hand it over to you. And you don't think they're going to take a little off the top. Okay? They're going to take a lot off the top and give you way less. But at the end of the day, you'll be stuck depending on them. See, depending on others is why people start businesses. Depending on others is why people work hard. They don't want to depend on other people. They don't. They don't have time to depend on other people. I'm like, I'll depend on myself. But I think everybody wants the entire story to be, hey, we're all going to rise up together and we're all going to work and make the same amount of money and we're all going to not be jealous of ourselves and we're all going to be at the top. All family members are going to rise up together and we're all going to live in harmony in a utopia. I think that's what people believe, and it's somewhat of a fairy tale. In my opinion, most people will be the one who broke the cycle of their family's dumb mindset. Yeah, your family's poverty mindset. Your entire family. And once you get older, you'll realize that most of your family members aren't that smart. It's going to take a lot to get to that because you got to be the smart one. But you'll realize, like, why do we need to get all of these people up to the top? You don't have to. You don't have to. Really, it's lonely at the top. It is lonely at the top. There's not many people that are at your level. And there's not a lot of people that can add value to you other than maybe possibly being an employee. Yeah, sadly enough. Okay. Sad. But it's lonely at the top. Not many people get to take their entire family, extended family, with them. Sometimes you got to leave people behind in order to have a little self-preservation. This is just my opinion, and if you disagree, it's okay. Please, in the comment section, just say you disagree. It's taking me out to the backyard. Let's go to the backyard and see what's up. Come on, Nova. Come on. You can stay out there. For me, I had to take an opportunity to do what? You know what? I want to write 3 books. You know how hard that was? You know how hard that was to be able to break away from people that I was attached to for the most part and develop a philosophy that I would put into writing that most of them would disagree with. That was very hard to do. I got to find my dart, see if I can get a bullseye. That was super hard to do. It ain't easy. And it ain't easy to find the time, because if I was an employee, I definitely wouldn't have the time to be able to put that together. So I had to take a great risk. This is a bullseye right here. It wasn't a bullseye. So the risk was, I'm going to go ahead and put this philosophy out, but as I win, I'm going to lose. Right? I'm going to lose. I'm going to lose people. I possibly might lose relationships, but I'm going to have a great gain on the other side. See, I can't take everyone with me. In order for me to continue the life that I lived, I would have to keep walking at the pace or at the rate that they were walking. And I just simply wasn't going to continue to do that. So I had to take the great leap, the leap of faith, to get me to that position. And I did it. But it didn't happen overnight. Now, by the time you found me, you saw exponential growth. And then you said it happened to you overnight. You might have found me at the position you found me in now, and you're like, oh, look at you. You're living this, and you're going traveling here, and you have these cars, motorcycles, right? So you found me, and you found me winning. That's typically what happens. Most people find other people when they've won. But when I was the one sacrificing, when I had to make the hard choices, when I had to determine, hey, what is that? Am I going to lose in order to gain? Nobody was watching. Only people close to me. And that's part of the great risk, and that's part of the reward. Not a lot of people are willing to do that. And that's why you have the mindset of mostly the younger generation, the Gen Z and the millennials. They want it now, but they don't want to give up anything. There's no risk, but they want all the reward. And that's where we are. So what they want is to become successful overnight, right? They want the Lamborghini now. They want the 911 now. When it took me 20 years, and it really took me a hard 15, where I had to make tough decisions about who was going to be a part of my life and who wasn't. I had to look at, if things didn't add up, who did I need to subtract? And I figured, hey, it's going to be lonely at the top. I'll take that. And as you go on, you realize it's not as lonely as I'm saying, but some of the people that you started off in life with, you won't end with if you make this decision. You will inherit or earn new people in your life that have that similar mindset, that similar drive, because you have to, because you can't afford to be around broke people, or at least broke mindset people. You can't afford it. So you'll strategically partner with people that have the like mindset, right? Like your neighbors, the people at your job, people that are great business partners and, strategic business partners, people that have just as much to lose as you. Yeah, that's what you would end up doing. That's what you inherit. But that creates a little elitism. And that's what people are concerned about, right? So what happens is those people get together, they congregate, they network, and then the people who are on the outside, they can't get in. So I understand your problem, but here's the thing for the younger generation of people watching me, whether you agree or not. You must take the leap. You must take the risk. You must be willing to lose something in order to gain. And they call that a sacrifice, which is a controversial thing, but no great thing has been accomplished without a sacrifice. And sometimes you're just too young to be willing to make a sacrifice or understand that you have to make one. But you do. And at some point, you'll win. And the people that you lost, they'll still be right there where you left them. Okay, see, that's the big thing that I want to take away. That's the big takeaway. See, the family members that you don't want to lose, the friends, whoever it is, the colleagues, the people you grew up with, your homies that you went to school with, those people will still be there where you left them. They didn't change their mindset. That's why we call this the blue chip mindset. And you'll be in a new place. But you'll probably be in a gated neighborhood 20 miles away from the city where they are. And you'll probably be not in the 400 section of the stadium, you'll be in the 100s. And you'll see them and you'll wave at them and you'll say they're still there. But you might not have much in common with them when they're there. That's just a part of life. Big takeaway from this one. Subscribe to this channel. This is the channel that's going to grow exponentially like the big one. But here's what I want you to do. I want you to go in the comment section and try to figure out where you want to be. On what side of the argument do you want to be on? You want to be on the side of, hey, let's just deconstruct it. No more capitalism, no more profit, no more greedy people, no more hardworking, no hustle culture. Everybody just make everybody give a standard living wage. No greedy people, right? Everybody make the same amount of money. Raise the McDonald's workers' income to $20 an hour and everything will just be fine. There will be no more complaints. We'll have utopia. And forget that hustle culture thing. Forget that. No 2 jobs, none of that stuff. We're not doing any of that. Okay, we're going to make it fair. And also, companies, give me some of that profit without the risk. Hell with the risk. I'm not getting up early. I want to sleep in. What is the news term they call these millennials? They say I can't remember what type of sleeping they do, but they come up with a lot of things here. Maybe that's Gen Z. But they lazy sleep or something like that. But anyway, if you're on the side of the argument, let me know. If you think these people in America, the government, the corporations are greedy and you deserve or you're entitled to a certain standard of living here without making any great risk or sacrifice, let me know. I would be interested to know about that in the comment section. But if you're on the other side of the argument and you think this information was valuable or helpful, please express your opinion in the comment section as well, but hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. Hey man, blue chip mindset on the rise. 2024 is going to be a pivotal time for our country. It's going to be a pivotal time for people in general. We have inflation going crazy. The CPI report just came out and the cost of goods and services are skyrocketing. There's only a few things, goods and services, that have been less than, right? There's only been like they've gone down in price. Everything's going up and these are the new prices. The prices aren't going back down to 2019 prices. Okay? They're not. So you have to make a tough decision coming into the next year as to where you'll be. Okay. Also, I heard that the Fed may not raise interest rates in this quarter here in September. They might consider in November and in February. No interest rate hike. However, is that going to be beneficial for us or not? So pivotal year coming up. So the mindset has to be very strong and you have to make some critical decisions about where you want to go. What life you want to live going into the future. Your decisions that you make today will highly impact you in 20 years. Yeah, nothing happens overnight. Look at me. I had to wait until I had a gray beard to get the life that I wanted, but that started at like 17. Yeah, it started with making good conscious decisions at a young age. Then you can get there. Last thing, my story ain't over. Right? I can go backwards or forwards, but the affirmations, that work ethic is already set. Even if I go backwards, I'll still be back in the same position in no time flat because I have what I need to get here. That is the difference. When you have the skill set and the proper mindset, you already have the skills, you can always monetize them, even if you go backwards. But if some people lose, they had nothing that they built it on. So that's why they lose and they never return to their spot. That's why they're nervous. See, I'm not nervous. I'll go sell shoes if I have to. I'll be the #1 shoe salesman at the end of the day, probably within 3 weeks at the company. But I'll deal with that when we get to that point. Hey, let's see if I can get a bullseye before we go. But subscribe to the channel. See what we got. Bullseye. I missed. Tomorrow I'll make it. We out.